Greetings, Flesh Wound Horror freaks, and welcome to Flesh Wound Horror Live. I'm Flesh Wound Dan, joined by producer Todd.
Greetings. Oh, my voice cracked. Greetings.
You didn't muster up much anything there, Todd. I was going to say, it didn't sound like you were sick when we were talking off air.
No, I don't know, just
allergies. Yeah. But yeah.
See today's poster?
Oh shit, I didn't even notice. Shakespeare Shitstorm.
See, there's Lloyd and Michael.
God, I feel like we watched that it feels like ages ago, like early YouTube.
2020 is when the actual.
Oh shit, that's
it. Well, I don't know if that's when we watched it 100% in quarantine because we were able to see it through one of the online festivals. I can't remember which one it was now.
I was gonna ask you. I mean, maybe it was like early quarantine.
It probably was because I remember being super excited. You know, it's funny, and I'm gonna say it and jinx myself. I've managed to see every trauma movie since, Terra Firma, if not before that, early, before it's like I haven't waited even slash, not slash, Miss Slashed over the slashing, So I don't know. I've lucked out So now I got one more goal. I got to see the one they're filming now.
Yeah, one more Lloyd movie at least. So
I need at least one more poster then.
So I should say ahead of time, we are going to have a patron stream after this ends. I know we got a lot to talk about, the CM Punk footage and what else. Todd's got a bonus solo review. Which was too hot for YouTube.
Well, yes. Oh, on the other one, are we going to do that?
On Patreon for that one. Yeah.
Well, what do you think I'm going
to? Todd's going to be spitting. Let's just put it that way on Patreon. Can I do something that's very in poor form? I forgot to grab a drink, and I don't want to suffer through speaking. So, do a dance. There you go.
There we go.
There you go. Give me.
Dan needs his drink, and then at the end of the night, he's gonna look like this. Yeah, ladies, he is single. All right. Well, how's everyone else doing out there right now? What up, Shaggy, Ben, Zombie? Who else is out there? I don't know. Well, I guess Dan, forgot his drink, so we're just chilling. I just finally got a Class of Nukem High poster too. That's the one I haven't had. So I think
that wasn't too bad. I even got a douchey drink. So
calm down there, Logan Paul. But the one thing, I don't know if you could tell, this poster is actually smaller. It's not the full 27 by 40. They did this one that the smaller size. That's the only thing. So
24 by 36. It looks like maybe, give or take.
But I figured out what I'm going to do here finally. Because you can see it's half. I'm starting to work on that, but they have really cool magnetic poster things. I can switch posters that easy, so I may just do that and just have random posters just pop in and out.
Oh, nice.
So
Ghost has in the chat right now has a cool thing that kind of changes posters that I like. Cool. Can only imagine which ones are going to be on your version of that.
Well, the thing is I was gonna put my Hostel 2 in out, and then I forgot I was gonna have to cover boobs and stuff. I said I was gonna put that one on Discord. I still gotta do it just because I got the posters tore up, but even though it's framed, it still looks good. I don't care.
Yeah, you don't see a lot in the frame. I've got some.
No, do you see it? This fucker's. Yeah.
Okay. But I was gonna say I've got some posters that have been in and out of frames to get signed so many times that they are kind of beat up, and you see it when you take it out, but in the frame it's not. You don't. Really
you'll know. I'll show you. Maybe I'll show you on Patreon. I'll cover the nips. How's that?
There you go. Yeah. So Patreon stream for the nipples and all that good stuff. So. I guess we don't really have a lot in the way of news, but what did you think of the Maxine trailer?
You know what? I'm glad I wait. See, I wasn't going to watch it, but I was like, well, you know what? I'm going to wait. If they play it on Civil War, I'm going to watch it. and they played it on Civil War, so I watched it, and I'm glad I got to see it that way on the giant screen for the first time. I was like, "Fuck!"
Oh, nice. Oh, all right. So you've already seen Civil War. I'm going tomorrow. I'm doing back to back that and Arcadian with Nicolas Cage.
I did that other movie that we'll be reviewing tonight, and that, and yeah, I'm just gonna go see the Arcane or whatever it is, the Nicolas
Arcadian.
Cage. Yeah,
yeah.
On quick review, please, on Civil War. Maybe I'll give a couple notes because we're gonna cover that one next week. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, because I think that's gonna be a deep dive next week. I have a feeling. Did you see it, Ghost, already? I think he just wants a yay or nay sort of.
I'd say go see it. I don't think that's giving anything away, really.
Okay. Yeah. I'm eager. I'm actually excited for the Nick Cage movie too. So
yeah, I'm glad because I couldn't make those two work out. So I was gonna go. So then when I find out we actually did get the Civil War test screen, I went on Monday so I could see the other one on Thursday. And then I did notice that the Screen Unseen was that one Nazi movie, the Guy Ritchie one.
Oh, the Carrie Elways, yeah.
Which I heard it was going to be, and it's just that was another. I wasn't gonna get home till like 1 a.m. because like the second like Civil War screening was at like 10 o'clock, so I was like, fuck, that's a long day. So I just did the two.
Yeah.
No, and then I saw the preview for that Guy Ritchie one on the Civil War also. And I was like, damn, I should have went and saw it too. Like, because I wasn't tired. I was just like, I don't want to go home at 1 a.m. or get home at 1. Because I saw it after.
Three back to back in a theater sometimes can weigh you down.
I'm fine as long as it's tight. If I have to wait like 30 minutes between movies, I'm like, hey, I don't want to do it. That was what the problem was with Civil War. Because as soon as I would have finished the other one, I would have had to wait like 30 minutes. And at that point, and it's late, I'm like, yeah. Because like a week before they were like lined up perfectly. And actually next Thursday, they line up perfectly. So
I can't remember what I doubled with Phantom Thread now. That's like gone. I didn't double as often back then, but it was just like, it kind of almost killed the other one because it was just the tones were so different. One was super long and the other wasn't. I was like, nah, those didn't go. I can do 3 horror movies maybe and be fine, like you said, but it's a long time.
I mix them up. I don't mind different genres all over the place. I do try to find, like, if I can time it out and the lightest one is last, it's always better. I don't like the last one to be super heavy.
Yeah. Ben's asking about the new Blair Witch that they announced.
I've been so out of it, and I didn't know there was a new one. Is it a follow-up to Blair Witch 2? Then I'm all in.
I mean, you got to abandon found footage now for it, don't you think? Like
they did on the second one, and that's the only one I like, really.
I mean, just completely, like, just give us, like, we were on the Discord, we were talking maybe a prequel, like, let's see the witch stuff from the beginning.
See, here's the thing with those Blair Witch things. I don't like the movie, but I love Curse of the Blair Witch. I love the documentary. The mockumentaries are awesome. Like, the second one for the second film is good. I don't think it's as good as Curse of the Blair Witch, but I like that presentation better than the found footage. It's the mockumentary, style.
The phenomenon behind it too is really interesting to me. The fact that there were grown adults that thought this was real, that they were watching people die, like at their local Regal.
I know. That's all right. Remember, I told you I had an incident. And if you haven't heard it, I'll tell you in Patreon. There you go. Yes, Curse is probably my favorite stuff, and it's about what happened to her and Rustin Parr. Yeah, that whole that mockumentary, whatever, it's great. Like, and that's why I remember when I saw the movie, I was like, yeah, all the stuff I learned about it before was more interesting than this fucking movie. Sorry to all you Blair Witch fans. I know I'm one of the ones that does not like it. I love Blair Witch 2 though, so I'm that weirdo.
No, there's more people out there than you think that.
Oh no, well yes, but before the internet, I did not know there were others. I was the lone weirdo. Post
It's
internet.
not Book of Shadows is by no means like the first movie that people bitched about on the internet, but I felt like that reached like a new level of
I don't remember.
loud.
I wasn't like, yeah, I wasn't on the internet.
I mean, I didn't have social media, but I'm just talking like message boards, reviews. You know?
I wasn't. Yeah, no.
It's,
I was in the other chat rooms. ASL baby. Old school, you know it.
There is a lot of it's like it's not even real, man. It's like, well, no shit. Did you think you were gonna see people die? I was a teenager when that came out, and I knew. I was like, what the fuck you guys think is gonna happen?
I had fucking web TV when that was out. I remember that shit. Web TV was so fun. You know, maybe I'll tell some web TV stories in the damn Patreon.
Yeah, we can do that on Patreon. That'll be fun. So yeah, we got multiple things for Patreon, but so yeah, I don't think we have any other news.
No,
so
let's get cracking. We got
let's get cracking, and then we'll have time for a Patreon show. So all right, we'll kick it off with our first review of the evening, which is Festival of the Living Dead from directors Jen and Sylvia Soska, the Soska Sisters, sorry. So in this film, while attending a festival to commemorate the original zombie attack, Ash and her friends encounter the living dead and must fight back or be devoured. So these are the grand kids of Dwayne Jones from the original, and of Ben in the original, and it takes place 55 years later, I believe it is, and that kind of connects it. This takes place in that world, and it's been 55 years. Really, you change a couple little things. This doesn't have to be a Night of the Living Dead movie at all. So, all right. I'm coming into this with realistic expectations. It's a to be original. Now, we've seen some awful films in the Night of the Living Dead universe / Return of the Living Dead universe. Whether we like to admit it or not, Return of the Living Dead 4 and 5 do exist. Whether we like it or not, Day of the Dead 2 Contagium, the word that doesn't exist, exists in film. That Night of the Living Dead from the UK that they did, Night of the Living Dead 3D with Sid Haig, all of that exists.
I like that one.
You look well, yeah, because
it's pretty awesome in 3D. Not many other movies pass you a joint while you're watching it.
You're a shameless 3D whore.
I am,
but that movie's garbage.
But the second one is good. I'll fight over that one. I know the first one's
Reanimation with Jeffrey Combs and Andrew Divoff. That one's a fun B movie. But
Zombie asked the question: is it 55 years after Romero's or Tom's Night of the Living Dead?
After Romero's, because there is actually footage from the movie at the very beginning.
Yeah.
So yeah. Like I said, a couple small changes. It doesn't have to be connected to that at all. So going into this with all those mostly wretched follow-ups to, again, I'm not talking the original trilogy, just more modern films in the last 15, probably closer to 20 years now for Contagium. And we got Children of the Living Dead. I had no expectations for this. The fact that it took place and it's canon to the original George Romero film meant nothing to me. So I went in. It's not great.
And you're being way too nice.
Well, because I don't absolutely hate it. I knew I was getting a B movie. That was clear from the trailer. Some people were holding out hope because, it's the Soska Sisters, but I'm like, guys, I'm sorry, they made one really good movie
and another decent one.
Sure, yeah, and I get it that I haven't really hated their movies. They're just not the fucking. They're not.
It's the twin effect. It's the whole thing. I get it. Okay.
No.
I'm just gonna throw this fucking bloody disgusting. How the fuck do you put in the headline of your fucking article the Soska Sisters channel George A. Romero in Tubi sequel? That's how I lose respect for you for saying that shit. Jesus Christ.
Well, all right. So there is nothing about this that feels like Night of the Living Dead at all.
See, you keep going with that. See, my thing isn't even that. I think the Soska should have made a better movie. I don't even give a shit it's connected to Night of the Living Dead.
So a lot of people are going to say like it feels like a Sci-Fi Channel original. Yes, it does, but a Sci-Fi Channel original with more practical effects than you would expect. I'll give it that. There's some decent looking zombies. There's nothing you haven't seen in a zombie movie. If you're zombied out, this isn't gonna restore your faith in zombie movies. I would also say it's paced well. For the most part, this movie, once you get to the festival, it's all action. Few really stupid things. They said that this is $1,000 to get into this festival, and it looks like a shitty Ren Fest. Well, not Ren Fest, Burning Man, like a discount bin Burning Man.
It was like that with that Jaw Rule thing, the Fire Island gimmick, maybe.
Yeah, it's just out in the woods, and I'm looking, and I'm like, none of these kids would have $1,000.
That wasn't even my problem. Like, no, I like hated every person in, like, every one of the kids act. I was like, none of y'all are very good. You all are annoying. I'm sorry if you're watching too, because I don't like to rate art, but fuck, this was a hard watch for me. Like, I wanted to watch Ray from the Grave, and I don't even hate that one like most people. Like, they're shitty movies, but I had more fun in both of those than this one. This felt like a chore. I was just like, oh fuck.
I didn't mind the Iris character. I mean, the actress was perfectly
I'll
fine,
agree with Ben. Yeah, perfectly fine isn't what you want. Go ahead.
They have a fun set piece with the giant Burning Man structure. Yeah. I mean, again, like I said, this is Sci-Fi Channel original territory.
Yeah, it's a Tubi original. It's its own genre. I don't.
There were
that is what it is.
Well, and there were also at least a few Asylum zombie movies that I thought were more fun.
100%.
Now, granted, more CG. A lot of the CG for this one doesn't come in until the towards the very end when we're in daylight more. So, like I said, they do some things right. It's really scraping the bottom of the barrel though for the Soskas. I think a lot of people now are going to be over them if they weren't already, because I'm sorry, this is if you consider American Mary their Texas Chainsaw Massacre, then this is definitely their mortuary. If we're comparing Toby Hooper,
then where do you put? Then what would See No Evil be too?
I didn't go Gin because again, this movie's at least is entertaining enough. But Gin, Gin will be when they're just making when they're just diddling themselves on OnlyFans. That'll probably be that's probably like the level they.
That's when you get Dan's dollar.
But I don't know. Maybe they already are. I have no idea. But yeah, man, like. I like zombie movies. I can still watch like a basic been there, done that kind of scenario with a zombie movie. Again, at least there's a little bit of gore. It's well paced. We're not just dicking around. Like I said, it's pretty action packed.
I see. I don't think it was well paced. I know Ben Grimm called it the time killer too. I was fucking bored out of my mind.
I wouldn't say bored. I mean, it's not.
I'm actually surprised how nice you're being to it, because I thought this was a piece of shit.
So I think there's like going to be like a case of expectations and also comparing to other movies. I knew better.
See, you say that, but that's not where I'm at though, because I know Night of the Living Dead. Now that's most of them are bullshit, and I know Soska's.
You might want to rephrase that, but you mean the follow-ups are bullshit?
Yeah, sorry.
Yeah, not counting the original Dead.
Most of the non-Romero,
yes, there you go,
Living Dead films that because it's public domain are out there are bullshit.
Yeah,
thank you. And the Soskas, I mean, their track record, they have 2 good pictures and some okay ones. I mean,
there's a lot of okay. That's the problem.
Yeah, and even with that, I mean, even with like See No Evil, it's a franchise picture, so I'm sure Vince was shitting on him to do this and that. So,
oh yeah, well, and they had that they did an action movie with Big Show and Dean Cain. So
what was that?
I can't. I have it. Yeah. I can't even think of the name. But yeah, prison movie. But yeah, I mean, I'd say maybe production wise, it's a small. It's on the upper 50% of Sci-Fi Channel movies. It doesn't look too bad. There's a couple decent, well, more than a couple decent looking zombies, some good effects, but that's all I really have to say about it.
I think you're going to get both the answers here. Is it view once and done or avoid? Dan's going to say the first one, and I'm going to say avoid, pretty much.
If you're a hardcore zombie person, give it a watch. If you're burnt out on zombies, don't even fucking bother. This is not going to bring
there's nothing in here that's good to make you say, okay, I'm over my zombie. You know, there's no Cody Rhodes moment. There you go.
It does remind me how much more annoying modern teenagers are.
Maybe that was my first case of it. It just not because I did not like they all. But I didn't think they were great performance wise. So it's more than just.
Yeah,
I don't know. Everything about this did not hit right for me. It's been a while since because I normally find something about everything, but yeah, this one it just nothing worked for me.
I felt like they could have developed the romantic tension with I've already forgotten the names because they're not worth remembering, but the legless guy and Iris, I thought like there could have been something there to put a little bit of heart into this movie. They do try, and I don't think the Soskas wrote it, in fairness to them, but
hey, get the money. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, so I don't have a whole lot more to say about this. It's not the worst film that tried to cash in on Romero's legacy. So there's that. What do you rate it, Todd? Because obviously you're going to be a lot lower.
I'm just going to give it a 1. I feel like that's high, but I'm giving it a 1.
That's pretty low. So I'm torn here because I could be generous and just compare it to other like C-list zombie movies, but it is still they're still advertising it as canon from Night of the Living Dead, so I'm going to be a little harsher and go 2 and not 2.5. So that's what I'm doing.
For all that to give it a 2, it seems like you should have been higher.
It would have been the 2.5 if I'm just comparing it to a regular B zombie movie. But I have rules. Like if you are connected and canon to a great film, not only a great film, a timeless film, you get punished. You don't get the half star, Soskas. OnlyFans, maybe I'll give that a 3.5. But
he'll give you a 3.5, ladies.
I walked into that one, so
you did.
I salute you for it. I deserve that. All right, so
what do we got next? Something good, hopefully.
Something good, hopefully. We have our Shudder original, Baghead, from director Alberto Corredor. And in this one, a young woman inherits a rundown pub and discovers a dark secret within its basement. Baghead, a shape-shifting witch that will let you speak to lost loved ones, but not without consequences. So first off, if that sounds a little bit familiar, this is one that really, unfortunately, there is Talk to Me, and it's an extremely similar premise.
I heard this referred to as Talk to
Ooh. You're mean tonight.
No, I said that's what I've heard people referring this to. I haven't told you my opinion.
Okay, I was gonna,
but I thought that was pretty goddamn clever. I did hear that before I watched it too, so I kind of knew what I was.
Todd channeling like Roger Ebert, 1982. Just.
If I'm channeling Roger Ebert, it's going to be 1970s working with Russ. Fuck all the rest.
There you go.
I'm hearing he got throat cancer on the set of Beyond the Valley. The Michael Douglas kind.
There you go. Well, if you have to get it, that's the way to go. All right. So I like this movie. It's very familiar. Again, this mysterious witch creature, whatever you want to call her, that's trapped in this pub, and good way to make money. You want to talk to your loved one, you only get 2 minutes. That gimmick alone, I think, just so similar to Talk to Me, which is the better movie. I mean, Talk to Me is a fantastic horror movie. I think this does a lot right. I thought beautiful cinematography. I think all the actors were really good. Freya Allen, who plays Iris, I thought she does a good job. I think they could have developed the relationship with the father who owned the pub a bit more than what they did. But she plays, a rightfully angry girl for father that wasn't around pretty well. It's grief horror. We've talked about this before on the channel. Grief horror is where it's at. Some of the best horror films of the last decade have kind of fallen under the grief horror subgenre. I like the atmosphere. It could have used some stronger writing. I think. I know there's, in fact, I looked into it a little bit. One of the writers was on Night Swim, so that luckily it could have been a lot worse. I know this was a short adapted to a feature film, which overall I think it warranted, a 90-minute feature. There's enough story there. I should say, don't confuse it with the 2008 Duplass brothers movie Baghead, which if you haven't seen that, check it out.
Was that before or after Creep?
Before. It was 2008.
Okay,
yeah,
I don't know if I've seen that one, because when I was looking up this one, I did see that one. I was like, all right. I don't remember if I saw that one. Okay.
Yeah, no, check that out. I think you will enjoy it if you didn't see it, because that surprises me.
Yeah.
But no, I mean, I thought that this one did a good job. It is kind of like a been there, done that. But like I said, from the writer, one of the writers of Night Swim, could certainly have been a lot worse. I thought it was really compelling. It's just one of those ones, again, watch a lot of horror movies, you can kind of figure out how this is going to end. But I had a good time. It was suspenseful at times. I think when we first see Baghead, I felt like they should have milked that a little bit more. I think we kind of see a little bit too much of Baghead early on, and they could have held off, maybe not explained what was going on right away, because they kind of lay it out pretty early in this movie. And I think in this case, let's slow build it a little bit more, and it would have been more effective. But it's certainly better than average. I'll probably pick this one up because I did enjoy it. What did you think, Tad?
Well, I actually ended up liking this one quite a bit. It was familiar, and I think if this came out, before or just a different time when it wasn't so close to Baghead, I think some of the people who were on the train might have enjoyed this a little more. I think that's going to hurt it because it is so similar. But if you like that, you kind of know what you're getting into. I say check it out. I thought it was fun. I wasn't bored. I wasn't checking my phone like I was in the last film. Yeah. So I'm check it out.
Yeah, I think you guys will enjoy it. I know there's been a lot of very generic films on Shudder recently, and if Talk to Me didn't exist, I feel like the reaction to this one would be a lot more positive than I imagine it probably is right now. Just that 2-minute gimmick, it was just very similar. And Talk to Me is so unique, just being an Australian film, and it was a very interesting take on kind of that Ouija board formula. And this just has the same gimmick, and that kind of hurts it just a little bit. But I think it's worth the ride. One of the better films I've watched on Shudder recently. So I recommend you check this one out. So Todd, what do you rate this one?
I'm a 3. I enjoyed it.
Yeah, I'm a 3 as well. I think if they just they could have maybe tugged at the heartstrings a little bit more with her, the dad. There's a couple little character things I think they could have done, and you might have even had a stronger film. But it is worth a watch, Todd. So glad you agree on that one. Yeah. You didn't go. You only go Roger Ebert once a show at most. So Todd, I know we have our next movie up, but do you want to do your solo?
I can talk Monkey Man real quick. It's going to be brief.
Okay, I got a synopsis if you need me to.
Oh yeah, go for it then.
All right, so Monkey Man from director and star Dev Patel. In this film, we follow an anonymous young man unleashes a campaign of vengeance against the corrupt leaders who murdered his mother and continue to systematically victimize the poor and powerless. So tell us about Monkey Man. I did not get to go see it because obviously 2-man show tonight. There's another film that we're going to do next week now that I think would have been played better to have everybody talking about it. So,
well, at the very least, plugs. I don't know if Kruger's going to connect with that other one, but we'll see.
Kruger's too young to remember 1991.
Yeah. Well, I'm not going to say a word because you're going to get me to talk already. Monkey Man. Yeah, I what was it produced with Jordan Peele, and I know I saw the trailer. I was like, well, I decided to check it out. Because I didn't really know much about it. I mean, other than it was
Indian John Wick.
Yeah, basically. And that's what it was. But I mean, the story, it was really good. The action was it's 100% better than John Wick 4. Jesus. And I'd put it up there with some of the other ones. The action was great, the story was great. I was, like his, I don't want to give away too much, but him trying to avenge his,
mom.
That yeah, okay, dude. I don't remember if they say that. I think it's his mom and his sister. But yeah, it's just it works. I mean, there's not a lot of like action films like it's not giant. I mean, it feels like a smaller, in the middle picture. But yeah, I don't know. There's something about it. I think I need to see this one again. It was I don't know. It really connected for some reason, but I do like movies with other cultures, but this wasn't really what it was.
Well, it's an American.
Yeah, I know. Well, no, but there's tons of American movies like the Farewell and stuff that are just about different, things. They don't have to be foreign to be able to talk about different cultures. But yeah, I think if you like action movies and you like the John Wick movies, I think this is better than more than one of the sequels because it's really go nonstop. Something like Crank too. It's like it's pretty nonstop.
I was kind of curious because Indian action movies are very strong right now, and they're starting to kind of get global success here. RRR, a lot of movies like that now are actually charting at our box office significantly. So I was kind of curious with what this one might do box office wise, maybe make people a little bit more open to check out the Indian stuff, which hasn't been really common until very recently. That
it's grossed about 12 million.
I'd say that's probably.
I'm trying to see the budget. I don't think it was a super expensive picture. I mean, just
I would.
I mean, there's. So. And don't get me wrong. There's still big action, pieces and stuff. But I don't. It doesn't feel like something because you don't have like fucking. You're not spending millions and millions on fucking Rock and Statham and all those fucking people.
Yeah. I like Dev Patel as an actor quite a bit.
Yeah, so. I do, and I think that's the thing because he is an actor first. I think that's what makes his story work so well.
Yeah.
So. Because it's not no offense, because I am a fan of just the big dumb action movies too, but so I don't think you need to rush out and see it, but I definitely think you should check it out.
You should look into checking out like the Tiger films, RRR. The only downside.
Didn't I have to watch RRR for the Oscar show last year?
Oh, did you watch it?
If it was, I could have swore I did. I thought.
Okay. I watched it before, so I'm trying to remember if it got any Oscar love. But
I don't remember, but I don't know. But
I will say Indian movies in general are longer, and that's an issue for people. But yeah, Indian action movies, I do recommend it. And it's not all singing and dancing like people think in their head.
And I think with this one, this would probably be considered a short one running at 2 hours.
There you go.
But it doesn't feel like it doesn't, add an extra hour. I might be like, I don't know about all this.
Based on the trailers, I was like, okay, you take maybe Dev Patel out of this, and I might just think it was some Indian action movie, Yeah. So, all right. So, what do you rate it, Todd? Did you rate it? I'm sorry.
And I did not. You know what? I'm gonna give it a 4 for an action movie. I had a good time.
Oh, okay, sweet. I may try and see it still. Like, I don't think I can time it out with the other two tomorrow, unfortunately. But yeah. All right, so let's talk some Lovecraft from director, writer Chad Ferrin, H.P. Lovecraft's The Old Ones. In this film, Sea Captain Russell Marsh was possessed by an ancient entity for 93 years, committing horrific acts for a cult. Now free, he sets to travel back in time to undo his dark deeds with the cult, while the cult vows to eliminate him. All right, so this is connected to the same universe for the Dark Ones, or no, the Deep Ones. I'm sorry, that came out in 2020, roughly, maybe a little later on DVD, but it was a 2020 film, and
I know we talked about that one.
We reviewed it, again, probably early lockdown. We might have done that one a little later too.
I want to say that one. I don't know if when it actually came out. It feels like it wasn't that long ago. I think it's closer to a couple of years, but I'm not sure.
Yeah, it could be. But so yeah, this I didn't get to rewatch the last one, so this is connected. I wouldn't say you have to see the last one. You won't be lost or anything if you're jumping in here, but it's
I was going to say Chad does a good job on that, because I mean I feel the same way with Scalper and Nightcrawler. You can just watch either one. You don't need to. I mean, it's always going to improve your viewing experience, but you can just jump in. And that's
in fact, I know there were people that watched our reviews and were like, "Oh wait, Scalper's it's connected to another movie," and I was like, "Oh yeah." I mean, again, you're okay, but you should try and see both if you can. So
I recommend them both. Once
again, we're mashing together a lot of different Lovecraft lore. We have, Shadows, we have Dagon, we have, we're combining a lot of different things. If you're familiar with the literature, you kind of get it. You'll know who Russell Marsh is. You'll know who, and even I have trouble saying it sometimes, but Nyarlathotep, and all these characters, you'll know who they are. I do love still seeing Timothy Muscatel in Chad's movies, going back to the beginning. As far as the tone of this, so you have Robert Miano once again as Russell Marsh, and this one's essentially a kind of a road trip movie with him and sorry, I'm trying to find the actor's name and it's escaping me at the moment, but so basically he washes up. This father and son are fishing. The father dies, so he's going with this with the son, who's an adult, and they're hitting the road, running from the cult, trying to dodge Deep Ones, Old Ones. There's a lot of really cool practical effects in this one. it's shot on a budget, 100%. Like, you can tell they don't have a lot of money to bring this to life, but he does it the right way. Just practical effects, some cool masks. There's some other Lovecraftian stuff that comes in towards the end that I'm not going to reveal because it's spoilers, but you'll pop. I'm sure if Kruger were here, he would pop as well. Like I said, this mashes together a lot of different Lovecraft stories that I think makes it a lot of fun. And
I know I lean on you two with this because, like, the Lovecraft lore, that's your guys. Like, I know the basic stuff from like Stuart Gordon and some of the more mainstream stuff, but like in general,
going back to Lovecraft, I mean, he opened everything that people added to the mythos over the years. So, you had August Derleth and, Robert E. Howard and Clark Ashton Smith, all of these guys. And then, later on, even, Ramsey Campbell, Robert Bloch, all of these guys kind of added over time, not even just the Lovecraft circle. Modern, I always say John Langan is amazing. Laird Barron has done some of the best Lovecraftian fiction. There's a lot of people that have added so much to it. There's a lot of people out there will say, like, they love cosmic horror. They love what Lovecraft did, but he's not their favorite writer of cosmic horror. A lot of those guys I mentioned, there's some pretty powerful shit out there that's well worth seeking out.
And they're probably less racist than too.
little less racist, but
I'd like to say a lot less racist, but
yeah,
I don't know.
You'll get me into like a long discussion of Lovecraft, but he evolved a little bit. He didn't make it to old age, but he did evolve. He married a Jewish lady, so his thinking somewhat evolved. But
I just want to answer Zombie's question real quick. Scalper, the Native American ghost killing people. No, that's a different film. This is Scalper is I want to say
you're thinking of Scalps from Fred Olin Ray.
Yeah, Zombie. Scalper is from new, just came out. Technically, I believe it's 2023, but it got released now. I know we saw it last year.
Yeah. It's getting harder and harder to date movies because there's some weird ones where it'll be on VOD 2 years and then you'll randomly get a DVD. So
well, then there would obviously be the VOD date, not the physical date.
Yeah, I agree. But you kind of have to go VOD now. So anyway, sorry about that side rant, but check out some of those authors. There's a lot more than just Lovecraft writing cosmic horror. So where was I? The Richard Band music goes without saying. That kind of sets the mood. Are some of the effects cheap? Yes, but I mean that again in the best possible way. I love seeing just rubber masks,
actual effect. Yeah, I'd rather see movie magic than computer graphics. 100%.
I also like that Chad still has some of those trauma roots, like where the Shoggoth attacks Russell Marsh while he's in the shitter. Like that there's some funny bits like that where I think it's still cool that he still holds on to the trauma the trauma feel a little bit. The movie, again, very brisk, well paced. Anytime you tackle Lovecraft, that's extremely ambitious when you don't have a lot of money. It's not easy to do it. They haven't been able to adapt a lot of his stuff, certainly on a bigger budget.
It feels like we get adaptions of the same materials a lot.
Yeah, and they change it. They make it a little bit easier to do it, again, on the cheap. I really like the universe that he's creating here. And again, I don't mind the tongue-in-cheek tone. Some people might with this. Like, I wouldn't say go into this expecting to have the shit scared out of you. I think this one has a great ending. It kind of comes full circle. I really enjoyed it. And yeah, I think this is worthwhile. I also threw out, and ironically, I was talking about this just today with somebody else, but if you are like looking to dive into the cinema of H.P. well, not of H.P. Lovecraft, but H.P. Lovecraft cinema, don't sleep on the H.P. Lovecraft Film Festival. And there are compilations. Some have gone out of print, so it's something you might want to jump on soon. But there are H.P. Lovecraft Film Festival DVDs, and
what exactly are they? Shorts or the movies? What are they?
These are shorts.
Okay.
There's a few things on there that might be considered feature length over the years, depending, hour, 70 minutes maybe. But for the most part, shorts. There's at least 3 of them on Blu-ray. I want to say like 2018 to 2020 had Blu-ray releases. But if you can't go to this festival, if you're in, I think it's still in Portland, I believe. But if you're in that neck of the woods, I highly recommend going.
Is there any H.P. Lovecraft connection to Portland, or is it just in Portland?
It's just in Portland.
Okay, no, I was just curious. I didn't know.
And there's stuff obviously in Providence as well. I could be wrong, but I think Salem might have had something as well. Yeah.
Ben's not a fan of Portland.
I like Portland. I mean, I haven't been.
Swaggy missed it. He said, "What other authors to check out?"
Oh, so there is a lot, and I know I'm going to leave some out, but Laird Barron, Swaggy. Actually, you know what? I will
get you a list.
I know you're a patron, I believe. I could be wrong. If you're not, don't worry. I will take some photos of some specific books that you might want to check out. But Laird Barron, John Langan. John Langan's The Fisherman is really, really good. But I'll get you like a dozen different names if you want it to dive into some of the literature, some of the non-Lovecraft literature. If you want to dive into H.P. Lovecraft himself, you have a Books A Million or a Barnes and Noble. Like they have, you can, there's a couple volumes out there that has pretty much everything. So yeah, get to talk about books, Tad. I never get to talk about books.
I know. I just tuned you out. It's all right. I own 3 books. They're all right there. Actually, I own about 10 probably. The most important books are right there, though.
I own a lot of books, Tad. A lot, and it's a mess right there. And I apologize, but I own a lot of books.
Yeah. I'm not a reader. I got 4 trauma books.
Well, there you go. That counts. That's like
I got Ruthless about Easy. I got The Last House podcast. Yeah, I don't have a lot of books, but I am. Yeah. But I do want to say I am super excited. Well, we should rate this one first, real quick.
Okay, yeah. Sorry. I think I talked about pretty much everything. It's a light buddy road trip, Lovecraftian adventure. So that's kind of what you're looking at here. And I liked it. So old ones, I am a 3.5. What say you, Todd?
I'm actually exactly on par on this. I'm a 3.5 also. I know a lot of the Lovecraft stuff is like not as, connected for me. Like I don't know it as well as you guys. But speaking of which, Chad's next movie, I'm super excited for. And like Dan said, I don't know how these worlds are going to mesh, but his next film is Unspeakable, Beyond the Wall of Sleep, sequel to my absolute favorite non-Lloyd directed trauma movie.
Unspeakable. That confuses the shit out of me. And Chad, I know at some point if you watch this episode, I mean, you may not want to put it out there. Like, I am super excited for that movie. I'm not
sure how to connect them. I get it. That's
yeah.
That's the exciting part. But yeah,
I'm very excited for it though.
Ben, you want the titles of the okay? Well, real quick, there is Everything I Learned from Filmmaking. I learned from The Toxic Avenger. There was Make Your Own Damn Movie. There is The Toxic Avenger, the novel, and then there is the Aroma of Trauma, which is a book, and it's got pictures of the posters and stuff. So there you go. You know what? I probably should have waited. I'll put those all in shorts. I've only did one of the books so far, so maybe I'll do another book.
Oh yes, watch the Trauma shorts, guys. There's it's hard to talk in depth at 1 minute.
Well,
but
that's but it is giving me as I'm going through, because I am watching, rewatching some ideas for some pairings. I know there's one we're waiting as soon as we get Pugs emancipated, we're gonna get on. So
yes,
that one,
yes.
I know Dan's too excited for that one. So every time it's like, we gotta do that one next. I'm like, we gotta wait for Pugs. How are we gonna do American Holocaust without Pugs? Or not American? What is that one?
We did American.
Yes.
Honky. Yes. The yes.
Oh, you could say the word, but I can't.
I don't know if you're that. I don't know if whatever, Ted.
Well, you're safe. You said it. I didn't.
Yeah.
All right, I get to do it. It's okay. He's white. He can say it. There you go. You got your own.
That's my word.
Dan's side is white. Is that how it's supposed to be? I did it right there. We go.
So yeah, Patreon will be banging. Then we'll get to talk books. We'll get to talk just a little bit of wrestling Ghosts, so you can we won't torture you with it, and a few other things. We got one more
5
movie.
minutes. We got one more. We got the big. I guess it's the big movie. It's the big theatrical movie. I mean,
it is the big theatrical movie, which is The First Omen. What the fuck is mean, Todd? Let me read the damn thing.
I groan every time it comes up. God damn it.
The First Omen from director Arkasha Stevenson. And in this one, a young American woman is sent to Rome to begin a life of service to the church, but encounters a darkness that causes her to question her faith and uncovers a terrifying conspiracy that hopes to bring about the birth of the Antichrist. All right, so this is a prequel to the original Omen, obviously. It suffers severely from prequel syndrome, because you know exactly where this is going. Like, you know where we're going to get to the Omen. There's a twist. I'm not going to spoil it because I'm calling it a twist.
I was like, what's the twist?
It's
okay. Well, yeah, okay, I guess it is. Yeah,
with one of our female characters, pretty fucking obvious. Like you know exactly where this movie's going. You know,
were they hiding it? I thought. Well, I mean, it's one of those. If you're smart, you're gonna see it coming.
The other one is but all right. So I have mixed feelings on this. I'm quite shocked that it's getting as positively reviewed as it is. Although I get it in some ways, because it's reasonably well made. As a prequel, it fits in okay leading right into the Omen.
I've heard if you watch the Omen beforehand, it doesn't. It really makes it stand out a little more. The differences.
Sure, but compared to some, I don't think it hurts that this movie exists. I'll put it that way. I think that maybe the reason people...
I was just going to say it hurts more Omen 4 exists, but whatever.
Yeah, I think the fact that this... Look, First Omen. Like, we all probably groaned when we found out they were doing this. Like, who wants another Omen? Who wants another Omen movie?
Who wants any Omen?
Well, I love the Omen, but it's the same thing. I mean, like another Exorcist movie, really any fucking franchise film at this point, to be perfectly honest. But this did have some positive reviews. I didn't like the callbacks to the original film. There's a few scenes in particular that are right out of the original, although one they didn't do, but the opening gore scene, I didn't think came off very well at all. There's a lot of little stuff like that. I know a lot of people have been putting over the body horror, and you do get some glimpses of some really gross birthing stuff. They give you some brief but more graphic shots than I was expecting of demon hands coming out of, female anatomy.
I think this has a lot more to do with everyone had extremely low expectations. everyone had Exorcist the Believer stuck on their head. There was nothing but up compared to that. I mean, I think that the bar had been set so low from other, franchise pictures, and this type. I'm actually surprised it's so positive, so close to immaculate. That's the one because they're so close together.
Very similar movies. Yeah.
But here's the thing.
Not exactly the same, but yeah.
I'm gonna tell you something that you're gonna be surprised. So Disney, they fought for the nudity in this picture. They used their leverage to keep it in. They wanted to give this picture an X, but they backed the director and they used their clout and got it to all stay in. So that's weird for Disney to push for a hard R-rated. So Eisner, or not Eisner, Jesus Christ, that's like 30 years ago. Fucking what's his name? The fucking so.
Yeah, I mean, I guess it's shocking to some people. I mean, it's gross. We get, some shots that you don't normally get of, birth and all that. Yeah. I was like, yeah, okay, but I don't know. I don't think this is like that body horror. Like,
I wouldn't even call it body horror at all. And if someone called Kruger that's why he's not here. He's like, fuck that.
I mean, look, pregnancy, yes, I guess it is essentially body horror.
That is, I've lived through that body horror.
I could not, my nephew, I could have gone in the room. No, I'm good. Don't need to see
I was pissed they didn't let me in. I had to stand at the window because they were slicing in shit. I was like, God damn it.
You probably better that you didn't. I've joked about this before. I can have a guy gushing blood from his head, and be 2 inches from him and no feeling in my stomach at all. When it's something like that, like birthing or like certain kinds of surgical stuff, I'll start to get a little nauseous if I'm looking at it.
Well, they had a blanket up. I would only be able to stand on one side of the, which is what I should have been allowed in the room, to be on the side of the blanket with her. But they made me sit at the window. No, I'm like, that's some bullshit.
Yeah. So I mean, okay, that's a little more. That's a little more gross than I guess we would normally see in a mainstream movie like this, which a lot of this shit tends to be very, very soft, But okay, so I do have some good things to say. Perfectly cast. That is one thing that this has going for it. I think the acting is stellar. Neil Tiger Free, who plays Margaret, our main star, I thought she was excellent. She was actually Jaime Lannister's daughter in Game of Thrones, which I didn't realize that. She probably felt, so spoiler alert, not spoiler alert, I loved Immaculate a lot more than this movie.
Well, I mean, but they're different movies, but yeah, I get that.
I probably bought Nell Tiger Free as a nun a little bit more. That's like that one little tiny thing about Immaculate. I'm like, Sydney Sweeney's too fucking beautiful to be a nun. I went to Catholic school. I never saw fucing Sydney.
Not that Neil Tiger Free isn't beautiful. Also, I'm just throwing that out there.
No, she's gorgeous.
Jeez.
In fact, I'm sorry. Nell Tiger Free is more my type in general, but traditionally Sydney Sweeney's, probably most people consider a goddess, is all I'm saying. I did not see a Sydney Sweeney when I went to Catholic school. If I did, I'd probably still want to be there. And I didn't really see any Nell Tiger Frees either. Every nun generally looked like I get why you chose this life. It probably makes,
because they're getting the same amount of dick. None.
You're getting the same amount of dick. Oh, I don't know. Father Brennan might be giving him the D once in a while.
I would be worrying about the women
getting the D on the down low. But anyways. We get Ralph Ineson of The Witch fame as Father Brennan, who, of course, was played by Patrick Troughton, the second Doctor Who in the original Omen. He's fantastic.
Come on.
We get Sonia Braga as Sister Sylvia. It's Sonia Braga. She's amazing. Charles Dance as Father Harris. Bill Nighy as Cardinal Lawrence. It's cast amazing. You hear those actors' names, acting is not an issue in this movie. Everybody does their job. It's better than I expected for the non-existent expectations that I had of it, but man, did I just feel prequel. I'm like, I get it. Damien.
It's funny because I didn't feel the prequel-itis on this one, but I don't know The Omen well enough. I know the gist of it.
And most people seeing this don't know it at all. So that is
that's true.
Yeah.
So like, but I'm not, you know me, I don't really like the Omen movies. They're not my thing. This one I actually like more than some of the sequels because I like the story.
Yeah.
And yes, I know like how we're gonna end and all that stuff. But yeah, no, I this was way better than I expected. Like way better than I expected. And I'm trying to say, so, whatever. I did there was an earlier version, and I do know there were changes made, and it's pretty obvious what was extra if you watch the movie, considering that what's her name? Well, one of them is very much older, is no longer little. You can see it's been a little bit of time. So from what I know is they did not survive, or at least she did not survive. There's no that whole
yeah. I could darker. See the ending.
My gut says it tested really well and they want to do more.
That was one thing I was going to bring up without, obviously telling you how it goes. There is potential for a sequel to this prequel. That they could wedge. I hope they don't do it because I don't.
Well, I think the fact that they shoehorn that in.
Yeah, like maybe this might make money. I get that. I feel like this is going to be hurt though because Immaculate treads similar waters, and Immaculate just had an amazing ending. That's one thing that this I felt didn't have.
Yeah, no, and see that's the thing, and that's the biggest problem I think. Like, because you saw this right after Immaculate. If this would have came out before, I think it might have performed better in your mind. It had a better shot. But being so close to such a good picture, it's really hard not to compare them.
I would say that this is a good movie. The prequel syndrome is very strong. And again, I just know The Omen, so I might be, the outlier there because I know probably 90% of 80% of the people that are going to see this movie probably never watched The Omen, as sad as that sounds. And they're not going to have any, but I think it is mood over jump scares, and that's a huge positive. It's also a little more into that supernatural realm than Immaculate is. It does a pretty good job, at least better than most, making it feel like a 70s film. It's almost impossible. There's also a lot that you can compare to A Devil, a Daughter. If you guys are familiar with that movie, which I know most people aren't. But
that music, the music was awesome though.
The music was great. Yeah, the score.
I was like, I feel like I'm watching an Italian picture in some parts. I was like, it really captured that Italian like vibe.
It did. It did.
I think. See, that's the thing about this movie. The more I talk about it, the more I like it more because it did things right. That it feels like they were legitimately trying to make a good picture. They weren't just trying to. I mean, obviously they were trying to cash in, but you look at this compared to Exorcist, it's like totally. Like so
I cannot fathom even that's the group of you out there that like The Exorcist Believer. If you like that, then this is probably 5 stars. Like I'm not giving it 5 stars, but I can't imagine you not liking this better than that then. So it'll probably really satisfy.
I know you're surprised about how many people are like being positive about it. Give it about 2 months and it'll all flip back around when they can watch it for free and everyone hates it. So right now you just got the people paying to see it, so it's positive when everyone else gets to see it. It's when it gets rough on these reviews. Happens every time.
Yeah. Are we talking Schitt's Creek in the chat?
I still need to see. I haven't even started that. My wife's watched it like 4 times.
Oh, maybe not. I thought Catherine O'Hara. Maybe I read that wrong.
I don't know. All right. So what are you going to rate this one, or you want me to go first?
You can go first. I mean, just to close out my thoughts. Again, I'm familiar with the first movie, and it's very predictable. Again, because it's a prequel, and
but see, I think it's for 80% of the people, it's not going to matter, like you said.
yeah. But what do you say, Todd? Because my rating's higher than you might think, even though I had issues.
I've gone back and forth between a 3.5 and a 4. Talking about it's made me feel generous. I'm going to give it a 4.
So I was kind of at a 3. I'm going to keep it at a 3 for me. Because I do still think it's being overhyped a little bit, but
see, I think you don't like overhyped. No, I think people are giving it positive reviews. I don't think it's people are sucking this thing off.
We know the weirdest thing, the biggest thing that they're putting over is the gore, and I'm like, other than the birthing stuff, which again is gross, like I didn't think this was like some bloody like gore fest. Like I'm not exactly sure.
I guess like the birth stuff though, like does like stick in your head. So I don't know if it's maybe that registers more than like the decapitations or whatever else is going on. Because I'm like, whatever. But the birth stuff, I get it because it's not that the other stuff isn't real, but it's relatable more.
I thought that the glass bit. See, to me, I didn't think that was good at all. I thought that looked really bad. The first opening. Again, if you've seen The Omen, nothing's gonna surprise you in this movie.
No.
So it's not perfect. I just feel like temper expectations. I'm a 3. I'd actually say that's pretty high for me for a prequel to a franchise that doesn't really need anything more. There's nothing left to really be said. But I'm curious what the box office was, because you're right, there is a chance to do a sequel to the prequel. So we'll see. All right. So Todd, I believe that's all we have. So we are going to be live on Patreon once again. If you're just joining us, about 5 minutes. Yeah, I just got
it for 7:15 because I figured we'd be short. So
okay, yeah, 2 of us. So we almost got out of here in an hour for a Wednesday show. That's pretty good. So, but we'll probably rant on for a while. So we're gonna talk. Todd has a Too Hot for YouTube review.
I don't think it's too hot for YouTube. I was going to switch it out for Monkey Man last minute, but I think Dan will be more comfortable if it's in a.
I have no issues seeing that movie. I just didn't see it in the theater.
We will talk about that on Patreon, motherfucker.
Okay, we'll talk on Patreon, motherfucker. God damn it. So we have that. We'll talk the CM Punk stuff. We'll talk books. I will show you at least some books, Swaggy. I'll pull a few in the 5 minutes before we start.
Okay. Well, then let me just do some pimping. All right. This Saturday, April 13th, Los Angeles, California, at the LA Church, XPW's Baptized in Blood 4.
Yes.
Homeless Jimmy versus Dr. Redacted for the King of the Deathmatch champion. You got Schlack. You got let's go off the whole roster. But it's on pay-per-view. If you're not in the LA area, you can check it out on Stream XPW. Dan will be checking it out.
Absolutely.
And we'll have a post show as soon as we can. So there you go.
Yep. We have Dark Side of the Ring coming too at some point soon.
Yeah, I know we're doing a post show now. So we'll get it.
And the 13th, region free as well. That's gonna be a busy day. So you'll have a lot. You have a lot going on Saturday. And next week, Civil War, Arcadian, the new Nick Cage movie.
A couple others I can't remember. We'll talk Chucky.
Snack Shack.
We're definitely going to talk it. We may, I don't know.
I'm desperate to cover that. I think we could have.
I know that's why I'm not trying to wait a week. I just want to see when Pugs gets it in.
Okay, sweet.
Because that.
All right, guys.
Yeah.
We will see you on Patreon. Thank you. Come again hard. See you in 5 minutes.
Good evening.
How long up?